had a chance to say goodbye to Al Kramer. I don't know, Mark, is Mark gone? Mark Webb?
Mark's done.
More or less. I don't know if he's
Yeah, I think
actually
it's,
left
we all know,
the state.
we all know selling a house and getting ready to move and so on is a full-time job and a half, so,
He said
that's,
something about the 26th or 27th,
Oh,
they're
okay.
actually leaving town.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mark, my brother, we'll miss you.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Very much.
We miss Al, we miss Mark, and
Yes.
I have heard from Sue Noble, by the way. She had eye surgery, so she hasn't been
Okay.
here, but she'll be back. So,
Okay.
I personally appreciate other people from New Jersey who are
Yes.
around the town. We need it. So we begin, as always, with Curt McCauley and our constitutional minute or more. Call it Curt.
Well, I would rather like to stand or stay with the First Amendment, but,
Okay, it's your choice.
yes.
That'll be the first one to lose.
Kathy.
Oh, I'm gonna stay with the Article 1.
Okay.
All right, now I'd like to talk about the Senate because I think the Senate is gonna be in play and there's a whole lot of things coming down with the Senate. The Senate of the United States should be composed of 2 senators from each state, chosen by the legislature thereof. This was before the 17th Amendment, right? With a direct election of senators.
Yeah.
Immediately after they shall be assembled in consequence of the first election, they shall be divided as equally as may be into 3 classes. The seats of the senators of the first class shall be vacated at the expiration of the second year of the second class at the expiration of the 4th year, and the third class at the expiration of the 6th year, so that 1/3 may be chosen every second year, and if vacancies happen by resignation or otherwise during the recess of the legislature of any state, the executive thereof may make temporary appointments until the next meeting of the legislature shall then fill such vacancies. This was also changed by the 17th Amendment. But you realize how much was going on prior to the 17th Amendment. I think they felt it was too slow. And obviously should have been left more to the people to make those decisions. Everybody understand?
I understand, but my question
A
is,
special election rather than,
when did the
Boy.
17th Amendment become ratified to make it, to change that?
when?
Yes.
Certainly sometime between the Civil War and World War I, and that's,
Yeah, the 17th Amendment was somewhere around 1900. But let me see if I can find it here.
because women get to vote in the 19th Amendment? Was that the 19th? I don't know which one, and then Prohibition, 1920.
17th Amendment was ratified April 8th, 1913.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah, that was
right
very
after
close
the-
to income tax,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and prohibition.
So up until 1913, the system they had in place was good, but I guess they figured they needed special elections because were people dying sooner, or was the process just so lengthy that,
I think it was also racist.
well,
Okay.
when hasn't it been?
That too.
But it's an understanding that, you know, that things can't change until we change it. And that's what the amendment's for.
By the way, one of the local candidates, and just turn to Jackie in just a minute, one of the local candidates had a debate with her advisors about whether or not to put her picture on the campaign sign. In the end, that candidate did. Why? Because they couldn't put on the sign, so-and-so is a white candidate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you put the picture on, you're saying you're white and therefore electable in Flagler County, since in Flagler County,
Right.
we are not notable for
Racism.
voting for, having the proportional representation for people of color.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
Excellent. I
Okay?
love the way you said it.
Yeah, that's, I'm
that
fine.
came
So we've had, yeah.
diplomatically, that was beautiful.
So we had one black councilman, Halsey Mormon. We've had no black commissioners, I don't think. We've had a black member of the Board of Education.
Council.
The city council was, Halsey Mormon.
No, you had
That's
another
it.
one.
Kathy
The
Lund,
first one.
Kathy Height.
The
Oh,
fir-
we did. Kathy Hyder on the city council.
First one,
Jim Gines is what, no? Yeah,
Ralph Carter.
oh, yeah, okay. So we've had a handful,
Yeah.
but certainly not in proportion. I don't know what fraction of the population of our county is black, but it's certainly more than represented by the 3 or 4 names that we can name here. Yeah, and so racism, it's still racism. So who were our last elected senators in this state?
Rick Scott.
Okay, Rick Scott and
Rubio.
Marco Rubio, when he became Secretary of State. The executive, you just read, the executive of the state appointed
Ashley Moody.
Ashley Moody, who is now up for election. And I would say that her election and what we do about her election will determine the future of women's reproductive rights, because the Senate has to approve Supreme Court nominees. And Alito and Clarence Thomas are getting old, and perhaps in the next term of a president will retire. And if that,
Not if it's a Democrat, they'll hang it,
well,
hang in there.
that's an interesting question. Will they
Yeah.
they decide to retire only based on who's going to choose their replacement?
And it actually, it's too late already for them to resign and for Trump to get a free pass.
Yeah.
At this point in
Right.
time, he could not get.
No, in theory, that's what
Well-
that's what they told President Obama. But-
Mitch McConnell.
When Mitch McConnell
Right.
decided, no.
That's how
This-
Trump did it the last time.
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
and the Senate wouldn't wouldn't hold hearings on the nomination of Merrick Garland,
Yep.
and
It's an
Yeah,
election
that's- yeah.
year. These are the rules we've always played by. So let's just play by these
yeah,
rules
yeah.
until.
Yeah, until it's to our disadvantage. Yeah. So we need to work to defeat Ashley Moody, along with all the other people we're working to defeat. And in terms of getting to know the candidates, Jackie, what's going on tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night from 6:30 to 8-ish, whatever, at the Palm Coast Community Center. Oh, it's
6 to 9.
6 to 9, I'm sorry. And they're all the candidates for the House of Representatives, and Suzanne Pavel are going to be there stating their platforms and asking us to vote for them.
And taking questions.
Oh, yeah, they will take questions too. So it'll be a very interesting, hopefully lively.
I wonder if anybody's
Conversation.
gonna ask them what they're gonna do when their family is threatened around a vote.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the kind of questions they ought to be being asked, because that's what's happening.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think, these are all Democratic candidates, so it doesn't matter. But I think it's important to go to Republican candidates and Republican events and ask them who won the election in 2020.
Right.
I think is all you need to do is ask them that. And yeah.
And have
Yeah.
we seen any advertisements for the Republican?
Oh, we
I-
just saw one.
Oh, did
What-
you?
The one you showed me of 2 people running for governor under the Republican banner, and it's in southern Volusia or something. It's
in Western
West-
Volusia.
it's
It
weird.
was 2, I don't know, looked like farmers or.
And not Byron Donalds.
no,
No, it wasn't him. It was
Yeah.
2 like far right folks.
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
right.
Um, Byron Donalds, I think, also qualifies.
Yes,
I
he
don't know.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm debating whether to continue the discussion on Israel or to go through some other items of local importance and issues, local and national. What is going to be? It's going to be an amendment on our ballot to cut drastically our real estate taxes.
Right,
Good idea? Not a good idea?
no.
Sheriff Staly said it's not a good idea.
Okay. Oh, so Sheriff Staly
Sheriff
is a way
Staly said
if
that.
he
His
is.
ox is being gored.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Which is surprising, seeing how lockstep he is
Yeah.
with everything
Until
The
you touch their
administration-
money.
Yeah,
And then-
until it touches
Right.
his
Until his
budget.
till it
ox
hit his
is
wallet.
gored.
He was good to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he wasn't gonna be touched. The
He
fire
was.
services,
Well, he
police,
was.
No.
they supposedly weren't gonna be touched.
No.
They weren't gonna be,
And he came out with a video.
He came out in video, but apparently somehow they're saying that even though he's a constitutional officer, and the money he gets from the city still has to be awarded him, and if they don't have property tax to come in, how are they supposed to get the money out to you? So and from my understanding, Tallahassee is saying, you guys will figure it out.
Yeah.
But every county official and city official is saying, where are we gonna get this from?
And yeah, and what I find interesting is that's true in Miami-Dade and Broward counties, as well as Madison County and Franklin County. Whether it's a big or small, urban or rural county, all the county people are saying, "How are we going to pay our firefighters? How are we going to pay our police? How are we going to?" and so on.
Yeah.
What I find really crazy is the one, I guess it was a county or a township, that this wasn't an issue until DeSantis went after them, is the town Disney was paying for. They covered firefighting, law enforcement, services, and everything. If I read it correct, the governor was opposed to the Disney wokeness.
Yes.
Exactly.
And therefore, he went after them to say, you know what, maybe these tax exemptions that they were paying, that took care of the immediate town that Disney's in, shouldn't be done. And
Yeah.
as a result, Disney
Yeah.
said, okay,
Okay, that
pay for it yourself.
I happen to have some knowledge that so Disney created its own town called the Reedy Creek,
Yes.
and the Reedy Creek Taxation District. By the way, I can understand that it wouldn't want to rely on Orange County firefighters or police. It
Right.
needs its own and its own
Right.
situation.
Right.
But therefore, since there are no schools and in fact no homes or anything in Reedy Creek, so there was no need to charge school taxes and so on. And they have complete control, and they control the taxes. So in effect, they pay the taxes to themselves since they're the
Right.
and so on. And yes, so once and Disney has always had at least. I've been came to Orlando in 1981. Even at that time, Disney had a reputation as being welcoming gay, of all sexual orientations and so on. And when they were opposed to the "Don't Say Gay" law, that DeSantis, the idea of political retribution. I don't know.
Flew out.
Was that practiced before, or is that's not new with Trump? It's not. I have no idea. But so yeah, they took retribution on
It's
Disney.
not so obvious anyway. It wasn't so obvious.
Regrettably, though, who suffered in that? Not Disney.
No, they'll never say that.
The population of Reedy Creek.
Reedy Creek.
They ended up,
Yeah.
we don't like your opinions and your freedom of speech and your actions.
Mhm.
Therefore, we're gonna
Yeah.
take action against you.
Yeah.
And who paid? The public.
Yeah. It's a retaliation. The idea of politicians retaliating. Maybe it is. Maybe that's where gerrymandering came from in the 1800s, but or even earlier, perhaps. So, do you think there's a chance that this tax it's being sold to people who are not very tuned in that we're going to reduce your taxes.
Yeah.
Do,
That's what I'm afraid
yeah.
of,
Do you think that, do you think it will sell on, it will sell? Do you think it will, do you think people will vote?
Right
I don't
now.
think it matters. I don't think it matters. They didn't pay any damn attention when we voted
Right.
on several other amendments. Then they did, when they don't get the results that they want, they just change the law. So what difference does it make? In Florida, you don't have a voice.
No. Are you cynical?
Just
No.
a
There's
tad.
positivity today.
Yeah, but,
Well, I
Can't
lived
rely
here
on-
long enough to
Yeah.
watch this ridiculous, and look at the quality of the people that we send to Washington. Really and truly,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, Medicare fraud. And then they were going to,
that's Senator Rick Scott, by
Right.
the way, because in
Right.
case you didn't
Yes.
get,
Yeah.
at the commentary, I
Who
said,
doesn't
yeah.
remember?
Yeah, $360 million,
Yeah.
and we sent one person that, thank God, didn't get his position because, you know,
Matt
he was
Gaetz?
accused of, yes,
Oh.
right.
Yeah.
And what about
Yeah.
I mean, this
Yeah.
is high
Yeah.
quality,
Yeah.
this is really high quality politicians. I mean, this is worse than New Jersey and Illinois, and that's telling
Hey,
something.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute, so are you telling me that the man that ran on, I will only have the best people, the smartest
Yeah.
people?
And then we have Randy Fine, come
Right.
on.
Right, Fine's in it for the lunch in the Senate cafeteria.
You
I
think
am-
that's what it is?
I am just-
Yeah.
And what about
I'm
that?
disappointed with you folks. You don't understand the caliber of people we send for. We're sending the people that
That we need to get rid of.
There we go.
There is that, there is that.
Uh,
If we're lucky, he'll pick DeSantis or something.
Yeah.
Go away.
Well,
Well, that.
Not far-fetched.
he's doing all this stuff and so much
So he
more.
can get in,
So
yeah.
supposedly he'd really like an appointment to the Supreme Court,
Court.
Yeah.
so that when Alito or Thomas resign, that
DeSantis in the Supreme Court.
DeSantis in the governor's
Let me wrap my
mansion.
head around that for a minute.
The senator,
Like I'm sticking my
DeSantis in the
finger down my
governor's
throat. Are you
mansion.
kidding?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think he's a little dismayed that people aren't rallying behind his wife becoming governor.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a little upset about that. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we got-
Well, you know, worked for Governor Wallace in Alabama, why
Right.
wouldn't it work for him, you know, I
Yeah.
mean, really?
It was Korean.
Because he's still
was that
in
her
the
name?
50s somewhere.
Yeah.
history.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But she isn't running. Donald's is the favorite, right?
Well,
that's
Donald's is
this
the
cycle.
president's favorite, not his favorite. His favorite is his wife, but
Well, we can't let any
She's-
of them get in.
Is she actively campaigning? Were her
No.
name up here?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think. I thought she's going to wait 40.
She's,
She's young enough
yeah,
that she can
she
wait
can
4
wait.
years.
Jolly's doing really well in the polls,
yes,
Yeah.
from
he
what
is
I've heard.
on the upside.
Who is?
Jolly.
Yeah, Jolly.
Um,
Is there cause to be suspicious of Jolly because he started out as a Republican?
I've seen
Oh,
and
oh.
listened to him, and I'm willing to give it a try, and
Yeah.
he's got to be better than what the hell we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was always a
One
moderate
that he picked to
Republican.
run with him to be his lieutenant governor. It's a
Right.
woman, and
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
a lifelong Democrat. She seems great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Graham. Yeah.
Yes.
Again, Graham is
And her
is the
father
daughter
is
of Bob
But
Graham.
let's see what
They're
we
they're
end
from
up with
Catherine
after the
Graham's
finals
family
and-
from Washington. But yeah.
We'll vote for the Democrat because we
Yeah.
can't vote for Byron Donalds.
Yeah, I don't know. I look with suspicion he was a Republican. On the other hand, he had the wisdom to leave the Republican Party and become a Democrat.
Exactly.
Maybe that says something. What were we going to say?
That he was always a moderate Republican. He
Yeah.
wasn't a MAGA. He
Yeah,
wasn't.
yeah.
He wasn't
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, no. Maybe Jolly's our guy. Will he take any of the precincts here in Flagler County?
No.
No?
No.
Are we preemptively surrendering before we even get to the
No.
battle?
No.
We
No?
have got to
Surrender.
get out
That's
the
a
women and the
tenth of
minority
us, and the
vote. If
rest
we
is
could
all
get those two,
Republicans.
we would trample them.
I
Yes,
worry
we will.
that people are gonna be afraid to vote.
Yeah.
Why?
Or,
Why?
are
And
they
why?
afraid to vote the
People
way they
are
want to vote?
exhausted. People are
Yeah.
exhausted. They
Yeah.
don't want to
Yeah.
hear anymore.
Yeah.
And I stay on top of it, and let me tell you, I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
exhausting.
except I'm Irish and I won't give up, so I keep paying attention
But
to it
remember-
anyway. But a lot
Right.
of people are just sticking their head in
Yeah.
the sand.
remember, that's what they
Yeah.
told
That's
us
what
they
they
were going
want
to
to-
do.
yeah,
We're
that's what they
gonna
want.
Bannon said we're gonna be blasting you with stuff like drinking water out of a fire hydrant until you're just wore down and exhausted.
Yeah.
That's when we're gonna sweep in and do what we wanna do. And so far,
It's
they
working.
told us the playbook, they're following the playbook, and the playbook is winning. So far.
So far, but I don't think people are stupid enough, and obviously they're plenty freaking stupid, but I don't think they're stupid enough to buy this Iran war, oh, we won bullshit that he's saying right now. This agreement, which isn't going to hold, but this semi-agreement, giving the money, no, Hormuz, those ships are not moving through Hormuz. And they aren't going to until we put some of our ships through there, like our big Navy ones, so that they can be sure there are no mines. They're not gonna put their oil boats to catch on fire, okay? And now they're gonna be able to charge, they're not calling it fees.
They're not calling it
Yeah,
tolls,
can't-
they're
can't-
calling it
Fees.
Okay,
Same thing.
which was something that wasn't going to be allowed, okay? They, still have nuclear capabilities, okay? All of the stuff that he said he was going to do, not one of them, not one was accomplished. Thousands of people were killed. Entire school of young girls was killed. Millions and millions of dollars. And now we're going to send more millions of dollars for what?
To go back to
So,
what it was
because
before.
Hegseth wanted to,
Yeah.
no, because Hegseth wanted to play Warrior King.
Yeah.
That's why we went.
I've got in trouble for saying this before, but you don't think it's because Trump has a small penis and has to show that he's how macho he is?
Those men danced around their underpants the other day. There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
What did they do?
The wrestling.
The wrestling.
Um,
Yeah, but I like.
Oh, I didn't watch
Patsy,
that.
Patsy.
I-
They used
Fine.
underpants for the president.
Okay,
They're very
yeah.
proud.
We welcome Sue Noble. Somebody mentioned New Jersey disparagingly before. She's my partner in
All
crime.
of this is a
Okay.
distraction again from Epstein.
That's yes.
Regrettably,
I-
not us.
If every time that it starts heating up again, boom, he does something insane.
It's the Trump Epstein
But you-
files
Trademark.
But ask yourself this, and I don't doubt that there's some validity in this, 14 U.S. soldiers died, so we don't look into his involvement with Epstein? Does that not
care.
No, well, you know what? The hell with him.
Suckers
Excuse
and
me, I'm sorry.
losers, right?
Forget him. American public is good with sacrificing 14 soldiers. So we
let
don't
alone
know.
wounded. And you're only talking
the
about
truth.
deaths because they're wounded and they're
Yeah.
And,
It's disgraceful.
Yeah. What did you expect when we elected Donald Trump?
The B-52 that crashed and killed 8 people. You don't think this was being tested because this was Trump's ace?
No.
He was going to bomb the shit out of them.
Oh, he could still do that, but that's a whole. First of all, B-52s, G and H models carry the most people. 6.
They did what?
The G and the H, the nuclear B-52s,
Yeah.
they carry 6 people. You have you have a pilot, a navigator, radar navigator, bomb navigator, gunner, and electronic warfare officer. Those 2 extra people were civilians. I think they were actually testing some new systems on that aircraft. Now, the fact that that aircraft got pushed back before it deployed or flew, there's probably a lot more there than we'll ever know.
Right.
Yeah.
But as far as him doing a what was it called arc light,
Well, that's what they
the-
were called in
the
Vietnam.
yeah, the name of
Vietnam
the
arc
yeah.
light?
Yeah.
Yeah.
he might think about ordering something like that. But if he goes down that road, he will have the world, all the nations in the world turn on him. Because when we did it in Vietnam, it was bad. When you bomb 11 square miles of living beings,
Yeah.
you're on the next level of condemnation from nations.
And he can't do that with the other Arab nations that he's trying to build an alliance with,
Yeah, right.
okay? I mean, we have troops in Qatar,
Qatar,
you know,
Qatar, Kuwait,
Bahrain.
Saudi Arabia. I mean, he's underwriting his son-in-law's life, for Christ's sake. You know, pouring all that money into his family's treasury. He
No.
can't afford to set that part of the world on
on
fire.
fire. No.
trying
Nor will that part of the world allow him to do something like that. That's what I'm saying. The other nations, forget just around there. The G7 he's with right now, if he was to do something like that, he would literally alienate this country. It's bad enough that our allies in Europe are looking at us like the dirty cousin that shows up at the party.
Did you hear, was that bridge that was built for $5 billion, paid for by Canada, okay, that connects
Oh yeah.
to Detroit, and it's done, it's finished. It was supposed to open yesterday, but someone who gave a couple of $1 million to Donald Trump for his ballroom has a private bridge that they charge tolls for. And so Trump is keeping the opening of this bridge over to Ontario, Canada closed because these people made a donation to his pocketbook, because that is how the government is now run.
Wow.
That's how you get a pardon.
You pay to play.
You pay. Of course, you could have been taking some of that.
So this all just needs to keep being exposed. It's something, the exposure needs to be an ongoing management thing, and we just have to keep exposing, because this is where corrupt people don't like to operate in the open, right? They like to operate
In the shadows,
in
yeah.
the dark.
But see,
Trump doesn't seem to care.
no, it's,
Yeah,
because
and why doesn't
I
he
didn't
care?
hear about that until you just said
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So you know
yeah.
why? If I'm not hearing about it, who else doesn't know?
Right.
Because the money that's behind that is now controlling the media. They're
Yeah.
not. I mean, that right there should have been a 60-minute story all day long, but
It may have been,
But we
but
also
they-
have the independent news sources that
Right.
are gaining quite a lot of traction right
Yes.
now. You know what I mean? More and more people, right, like us, are turning away from the mainstream because we have seen
We don't
what's
trust
going on.
any of it anymore.
Right,
Yeah, you
right.
can't. Unfortunately, you know, it used to be poor 60. My heart is broken over 60 Minutes, and it
Yes.
was 9 months ago when that guy took over. I knew it was the beginning of the end when that very Sunday they did there was all kinds of stuff going on, and they did the monarch butterfly migration. I'm like, okay, we're done
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
60 Minutes, but we do have the independent news outlets that are, you know, usually or oftentimes the ones I watch, they're really, really, really smart
Yeah.
people that are, you know, analyzing all this stuff. So, and if they spread the word and they reach out to their online community and we go out and we spread it out, it can't stay in the shadows for too long, right?
And the independent news media, to me, is more important than the national, because it's more fluff, like you said. I mean, they're fun to watch when it's about butterflies, but it's no real news. And the independent is more important because that's what how hungry.
to beat Orban.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was that.
That's
The
right,
independent
that's
news is what got that turnaround there.
And when we start to turn this around, we're gonna get our stuff back. You know, I think we're gonna get our stuff back. I think we're gonna, you know, people are gonna come back, and, you know, things are gonna hopefully return to some little bit of mainstream normalcy for people that are not like us, for people that don't have the time to, you know, dive deep into what the information that we want. Like, we're all basically,
It's
we're
going to
kind of
take
researchers.
almost more than a decade to get back the rights
Well,
that different
yeah, I mean,
groups
Well-
have lost. I mean,
right.
the Voting Rights Act, what they've done against women, okay?
Yes.
Hegseth has been removing women
Right.
out of
And
the
people of color,
military.
and
Yeah.
people of color.
Women
And
and
they,
people of color.
they
Denying
were
them
almost
promotions,
20%.
big
That's
ones.
how they made their last few recruiting things, was the amount
Recruiting
of
numbers,
women
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
that were
there's so
going
many-
into the service.
I mean,
Why would you go in now?
If nothing else, all of this has just, I've thought it for a long time that like maybe this was the brick to the head that the American people have needed for 40 years. And now that all of these loopholes are being exposed in such a big way, Congress now knows where the work has to go, right? What's the first thing we need to do, right?
Fix the Supreme
Put
Court
Trump
and the
in jail.
Department
Like
of
we need to
Justice.
test that,
Exactly.
we need to test that you can't indict a sitting president thing, because that's
Right.
not really it's not a bill, it's not a, I mean, it's
No,
not
it's
a
a,
Yeah.
amendment, it's not a law,
Yeah,
right? So
it's
nobody's
a-
really challenged it yet.
Yeah.
But I
They
think
can go back to what the Supreme Court has been doing and actually turn over some of those decisions, because judges that had contacts or massive stock or,
Sure.
a sugar daddy
Little
that takes them
insider
on
trading.
vacation.
Received
okay,
$250,000
and they
RVs.
don't
yeah.
recuse themselves from those cases
Can all be
there are
challenged.
grounds that should be turned over.
And
I have
I
a
just
question
think
to
that we
pose
need
then.
to fill in these loopholes. We need to tighten these loopholes that people like him and all of his people are clearly exploiting.
All right,
Yes.
so here's my question I posed to the table, that I think I put before. Of course, Democrats can walk and chew gum, but in this situation, we take the House, we take the Senate, and hopefully take the White House. Do we spend time going after him, or spend the time rectifying the ship? Because there is so much damage
You're right.
done out there
Which
from
is
this
much-
administration till we get back in
Which is
control.
much more important.
And maybe
Which is,
it's-
which
maybe
one
it's-
do you go for?
And maybe, I know that, but maybe it's just the reporting, I'm sorry, maybe it's
okay.
just the reporting, there was a lag, but it seemed to me that in 2020, we waited way too, like, we all know, what's his name, Garland.
Merrick
Cheney-
Garland,
Are we
yeah.
working on
Cheney
this?
did all the
It
work.
seems-
Before we got here,
It
we talked
seems
about-
like a lot of people, at least from the sources I'm listening to, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that's getting done. Like there's committees that are being organized, there's investigations that are being done, whether they're bipartisan or not. They're still getting done, so the work needs to start yesterday.
I will say that there was a meeting in the last couple of days by attorneys general in a slew of states on how to protect 3 different scenarios that they are worried about with the election. If he sends in ICE, how are we going to
That's what I'm
react?
talking about.
You
If
said
this
you're afraid to
happens,
afraid to
how are we
vote,
gonna
or-
react? So they are actually doing some sophisticated planning there. Scenarios there. If the Democrats get in, I hope they have to do something about the Department of Non-Justice that we have right
Yes.
now.
Injustice.
And, yes, the
In-
Department of Injustice. And they need to take somebody, and I know this is going to sound almost blasphemous, but they need to bring Liz Cheney in and let her reconstitute the Department of Justice. I
That's a
don't
good idea.
care
Not
that
blasphemous
she's
at
a
all.
Republican.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
believes
Yeah.
in the law,
Party doesn't
and that's
matter.
what
It's
matters.
Someone who knows the
That,
law.
you know,
Well, I don't disagree with you,
And
but
they need
the
to fix
time
the
you're
Supreme
doing all
Court.
that, that absolutely should be a priority because that's the mass public. But that's all gonna take time.
You know,
Right, but
Go ahead.
what I was gonna say is, if we have both sides of Congress, we have the House and the Senate, then we can control him. He will have no power. They don't have to prosecute him tomorrow.
Right.
They need to take that time, like you're saying, and we're all concerned about, is start working on
Fixing
our
the-
country
Yeah.
and start making us do the things we're supposed to do, saying the things that are supposed to be said. They need to have a voice, they need to get out there,
They need
they
focus.
need to reassure our allies, we're fixing this.
And I wonder too, like in my business where there was never enough money to pay anybody to do anything that involved time, right? We always had committees. We had committees that would work on problems. Once I was on a committee to work on the overcrowding. Buddy Taylor was up to 60% over capacity. Like, how are we going to handle this? Blah blah blah. So the committee volunteered their time and worked on this stuff for many, many hours, and then we brought our suggestions to the people that can actually do something about it. And I wonder, like, all these people from the Department of Justice and the retired judges and all these brilliant, all this brain drain that's happened, how maybe glad would they be to jump on these committees and start really, so that the powerful people, the people with the power, can hit the ground running with their recommendations.
There's a lot that can be done, and if we have the right people in the Senate and the right people in the Congress, they can get it done. They don't want to take these breaks for weeks and weeks and weeks because they don't want to pass anything because
They
it
were
would
coming
upset
in when
Trump.
there were breaks. They were coming in for, like, Andy Kim from New Jersey and
Yeah,
many
yeah,
others came
yep.
down when something big happened. I can't remember.
But you know what?
Go
All
ahead,
this
go ahead.
sounds great, and I support all of that. But you know what the bottom line's gonna be on everything we just said?
Getting the election.
No. The money. Let's say we get the House and the Senate. We are over $1 trillion in debt right now.
The Republicans
Oh,
used to bitch about
yeah,
that all the time, right?
20, yeah.
How
but
come,
yeah.
Now they made it
how
much
come
worse.
we can't do stuff
You never
because
hear
of the money,
anything about
Yeah.
and they do it irregardless.
And then we
But
clean up
they
their
just
mess.
print more.
Then we
Because
clean up their mess.
they're writing checks that
It's
They
ridiculous.
that
We
can't
can't
cash.
cash.
Yeah.
We can't cash. They're writing checks we can't cash. They're writing on a bank account that's just empty. Eventually, that's gonna
We'll
catch
catch
up.
up.
And regrettably, we might be the people sitting in the seat when the man comes knocking
Oh,
on the
sure.
door for the
Oh,
money.
sure.
Look,
And of
it's
course,
inevitable from everything
gonna-
I've
we'll
seen.
get the
and
blame.
It's
Yeah.
We'll
just
get the
like
blame for
Yeah.
set up to the Great
It'll be
Depression.
fun.
And we don't have
100%.
Franklin Roosevelt standing there to run
And the
in and
Bank
help
of
us.
America is
Yes.
already, the Bank of America put out something last week already warning us that they
Oh,
think
they've
that's
been
gonna
telling
happen.
us for about 6 months now.
Yeah.
I've been
Well,
watching it
yeah.
very
The
closely.
economists, about 3 or 4 months ago, were talking about us slowly sliding into recession. They're
It's
no
not a
longer saying
recession.
recession.
It's a
They're saying
depression.
They're saying, everybody's saying there's a high probability, and I'm like, wait a minute. You just skip recession, now you're revising saying depression? Well, I could see it given what the economy's doing. And we shot ourselves in the foot when we started deporting or excluding these people that were working over here and contributing to our tax base. Who knew, eh?
And our social security.
And by the way-
Yeah, our Social Security.
And paying Social Security is the biggie, because
Yeah,
now
paying Social
it'll
Security.
go bankrupt a year
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
So when we get in there, there's 2 more major problems. Like I said, the biggest one, money. You can have the greatest programs in the
where it
world if you can't get the money.
There's
And
several places. if
I know
they
where the
do
money
get-
is, though.
There's several places where the money is.
Yes, there
It
is.
should not
That's why the
be.
Yes,
pool's
yeah.
green.
That's why the pool's good green. There you go.
Oh, they
Yeah.
hit
That
the
should
money.
be
Can't afford to
attached
filter, yeah.
for
But a
illegal
ballroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obtained.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. There's money out there.
they're gonna have to fix the tax code, number
Yes.
one. That's one of the
Yep.
big things they're gonna have to do. They're gonna have to raise how much money, the cap for
Yeah,
Social
cap.
Social Security,
Security.
that's the
They're
biggie.
gonna have to raise
That's a
that,
biggie, yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And they're gonna have to make it go up high, so when you're at a really high level, you're gonna have to pay a whole
Oh.
bunch more money.
Yeah.
That's what Elizabeth Warren was saying the other day. The wealth tax.
I think it was $125,000. After you make
You
$125,000,
don't
your
pay.
Social
Yeah, you
Security,
don't pay.
You don't
make
pay
it-
it.
So for some of
whether you
these
make
people, it's
125 or
less than a day.
250 or 375,
Exactly.
you pay the same
Pay
Social
taxes.
Security.
And frankly, they're gonna have to put some limits, they're gonna probably put a time limit on it, but like 20 years or something like that. They're going to have to do something about how much money, like CEOs and stuff like that, are paid.
Yeah.
There has to be a percentage
No,
between what the workers make and what the big guy makes. I'm not talking about the owner. I'm talking about the CEO.
you're
You're
crossing,
right.
you're,
You're
I
right
understand what
there.
you're saying, but you know what? That's the argument that shareholders of that company should be having with the company that they have shares in. I don't see where the government should come in and tell, Kathy, you've got a great company, and you've made X amount of billions of dollars, but we don't think you should pay your CEO what you pay your CEO.
Kind of
All right,
like
I can,
their business
I
model.
can see
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But I also don't think that anybody on the planet, a single person, should own a satellite company that has communications and that they could turn it off for any country that they want.
Now,
Not one person should own that.
actually, the
Government
government
should own that.
already has things in place. We either don't enforce it,
Yeah.
or we've allowed companies to come in and lobby influential people. Look at these media deals. All of those
Starlink
only
is owned
yes, but all those deals get approved through
through. Yeah.
the government.
Right.
So I agree with you wholeheartedly. The problem is we need to have a government that's working on behalf of its people, not beholden to the corporations
We need
that had
Teddy
their.
So with that
Roosevelt
said,
breaking
how
up the big
strange-
companies.
How strange would it be for the DNC to start a marketing campaign?
I would think they're doing that they should be doing that.
I
Somebody
doesn't
should-
seem
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Marketing
So,
campaign to.
You know, you can market anything, right? So this idea needs marketing. I mean, this idea that the other side has been very effective at convincing his base in particular, but many other like Republicans, like this is the path forward since what, the 80s, since Reagan and all that crazy stuff. So they've done a very effective job. And I
Yes.
think that we would benefit from the expertise of these people that do this marketing, that convince people to buy things they don't even need. You know what I mean? If they're
So
that
basically
good,
advertise, this is the truth.
kind of, I've always said about that, the more you know. Remember
Yes.
that campaign by
Yeah,
NBC,
that was
the more you
cool.
know.
That was
it was
a
powerful.
PSA for
It was like a little
schools.
1 minute
Yeah.
snippet, but it was incessant and it was on all the time, and it really, there were some, that I still remember. Like, let's get professional in this, because we're dealing with, scary people.
I don't.
We need to
That's
change
Alice.
Ken Martin. We need to change Ken Martin.
Yes.
The head of the DNC.
Yes.
He's ineffective.
Yeah.
And you have to start with the leadership. It has to
We
be
need some
marketing
young,
oriented.
creative, outside the box
Yeah,
thinking on this.
energetic,
Yeah.
leading the way as far as messaging
Yeah.
Right.
for the
And they're,
Democratic Party.
and they're,
There was
Ken
a,
Martin is not doing that.
So what's the Democratic message going forward?
We are the people, first of all. We the people. This
Yeah.
is our country.
Somebody's leading. He's been on all the Sunday talk shows about election irregularities and so on. And he's doing all the court cases somewhere out west.
Oh.
But behind him, he had a
Oh,
sign, and the sign said, "Beware, attack Democrat." Okay? And we need attack Democrats.
We do.
We
Yes.
play badminton while they're playing
That's right.
tackle
That's
football.
right. That's
We're
right.
nice and we're polite. That's what Sullivan said. That our DEC chairperson came in and said that we're too nice.
100%.
And Susanna Pavel is we'd say,
Yeah.
aren't you going to call out Sam Greco for voting against women's reproductive
Right.
rights, or go voting for the NRA, the National Rifle Association? And says, no, I
It's-
want to run a positive, upbeat campaign.
Long-
Well, that's
Yeah.
the formula
It's
for
long past
losing,
time
I
we
think.
put our
Yeah.
amazing
Yeah.
brain power together
Yeah.
and affect some change.
there was a recent article, I sent a copy to them, and it was talking about it's looking like there are two people in Georgia who would have a good possibility running for president. and that's Ossoff
Ossoff and Warnock.
and
Warnock.
Warnock.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it went over what is the strength on each of them. And he wrote back and said, which one did I support? And I had to really think about it. I read the article. And I would have to support Warnock. Because, for a number of reasons. The Christian nationalist thing is just really ugly, okay? And Warnock is a reverend, and that brings an element that, but it's not negative,
But they're
okay?
they're also on different cycles.
Right.
They're on the they're not both
Elected
in
the
their
same-
seat
yeah.
at the same
Same
year. They're
time.
But
opposite-
it-
Here's
Right.
the other
Yeah.
thing is to get a Democratic governor in, because if one of them runs for president, that then governor can
Now we
Appoint.
now we go back to
Appoint
what-
the
yes.
next
Next
person,
person,
like we just
right.
said in the thing. So you want somebody who's gonna appoint
Right.
That's
and
why
keep
we
things
need,
status quo.
that's
And
why
then-
we need
and to have
a
a
real
second-
marketing.
A second black president, I think, would be very, very good for this country. And Warnock, if you listen to him speak, he's got the goods there.
I think you're right, that would be like a gut punch to
It
them
would
because
be
they
us.
hated
Yeah.
Barack
Yeah.
Obama winning.
And
Like,
that
when it really started churning.
would energize getting back to getting the women, getting the DEI back
All
in,
marginalized.
Yes.
because there is nothing wrong with equality.
Okay,
Damn it.
so let me ask you this: why does that next president have to be black?
I don't say he has to be
doesn't
black.
have to be.
I'm not saying he has to be.
You think
But
so?
I'm saying of those two choices, I think that he brings so many things to the table. I think Ossoff is good, but he's in attack mode. We need somebody that can unify, and Warnock comes across as a unifier.
The black question.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if we're gonna fight, like really fight, not dirty, but fight, that we wanna send a message to them that the last, ever since Obama left in what, 2014, 2016, he left?
Yes.
They have been, I think that enraged them, that he got, like enraged
Oh,
them.
absolutely.
But half of his base
Okay.
voted for him.
It's still,
Okay,
yeah, it's
so-
still
So then
bothersome.
Trump wins in 2016, we take it back in 2020, and he wins again and through 2028, okay? So then now we have like, what, 12 years. Yes, we need to punch them in the gut with this. We need to go, we know what you did last time, and a black man, this is not a feminist thing, this is just who can win, okay?
Right.
Well,
The country has already elected a black man, and a black man would represent
More.
all of what you were talking about, the equality and the addressing of the marginalized people, and the fact that the Democrats are not done with this. This is our message to you. You want to take away everybody's equality, we want to give it back.
All right, why not Elizabeth Warren?
Because
She's
first
too
of all,
old. She's
Yeah.
too old. Now,
you
Cortez.
gotta have charm, man. You gotta have charm. You gotta.
Cortez,
by
what's
the
her
way,
name?
and so you're bringing up a Hispanic that we're
AOC.
leaving out in the
Well,
okay.
regarding
Well, yeah, what about
Ocasio-Cortez.
Yes, she
Yes.
would be. I think she would
Yeah.
be an excellent
Yeah,
candidate.
AOC, yeah.
I think she would be an excellent
But you're
candidate.
talking
But-
about an emotional hot button here, okay? And
Yeah.
women right now are not to be trusted, right? And
Why?
in the collective consciousness,
That's what.
in the
Oh, in
collective
the collective
consciousness of the base,
But-
the
but
misogyny
because that's-
on the upswing.
Well, no, wait a minute. Now, actually, with that being said, would all the male Democrats get behind a woman? Because we saw when we ran a black woman, we had a large percentage of Democrats that did not support
That's what I'm
her.
I
talking
wish
about.
Michelle Obama would run.
By the way, but she had 100, she would walk in. But the question is, and I gave money to the Kamala campaign, I voted, I support, and so on. If we had run a white guy who was 6'4", in the last election rather than Kamala Harris,
Would
would
we
we be
won?
in the same situation?
I think
Yeah,
not.
we can't.
I don't
would we
know.
have- Maybe I should ask, would we
We're
have been
talking
better
about
off?
already. We're not
Would
talking
would we
about.
be in the disarray we are now,
Well,
even if we
have
had
to be
lost?
better off.
See, I think the idea of a black woman really hits too many
It's a little too
buttons.
So
And I
you think our own party,
But
Or a lesbian.
If Al Gore would
also,
have
you know.
won, we'd be in a different.
You know what? And it was just a few hanging chads. Ultimately,
Florida.
by the way, ultimately decided by the Supreme Court.
still.
Right, right?
There's who was he's a senator, and he was in the service, and he made that commercial.
Mark Kelly,
Mark Kelly,
yep.
I think Mark Kelly
the first
has got-
astronaut president.
I
Yes.
think he would be a good one to have on the ticket. Now, there's what, 4 really strong people that we're talking about,
Yeah.
any of which we could get through.
And
I really
Mark
think
Kelly
any
and
of
his
it.
twin brother are graduates of
yes.
West Orange
Yes.
High School in New Jersey.
In Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're Jersey people.
With that,
Yeah.
I'll shut up.
all right, but what about the people that we currently, Gavin Newsom,
He's a little.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a lot of people
Huh?
that don't like him.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd
No.
take him.
I mean,
Yeah.
I like him.
I think he'd be good. See, there's a 6'4" white guy.
I
Foot
think-
four white guy.
But will he win?
Will he win? Yes.
No,
that's true.
I don't think
Well,
he
anybody-
You
would
don't think he'd
win.
win?
No,
Why?
because he's from California,
That-
and the whole center section of the country
Flyover country, yeah.
would not vote for
right.
anybody from California. They think they're all fruitcakes.
I
Reagan.
think- Yeah, I think Warnock.
No, you can't get anybody too far left anymore.
No, but
Yeah.
I mean, no, Ronald Reagan was from California.
Yeah, I know.
Nixon, California.
But they
What
were
original-
actors,
Yeah.
and they had that.
Nixon
They
was,
had
okay.
that.
Wasn't Nixon from
I
California?
am all the roles that I
Yeah.
played, you know, thing. It's creepy. Like people fall for that.
But you're right, I think like Kelly is more of a
Yeah.
Right.
Altogether.
Midwest, I mean,
Yeah.
he's,
And a
yeah.
hero.
So what about
Warnock.
Shapiro
This is
then?
Warnock.
Out of
Pennsylvania,
No.
no.
And
no? Now is that because of religion?
For the same reason that Newsom is fine for California.
California.
He is fine
Fine
for
for
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
But when you
Agreed.
bring him into the whole pot,
100%.
There's,
Yes.
people are gonna, just
It was
like a
kind of
woman.
like when
But
DeSantis
what about the
was
guy that's
trying
the-
his bid for the presidency, and one of my friends is like, "Oh, he's going to be the new president." I'm like, put that man on the national stage. Like, we'll see how he does.
Who's
you know,
that?
against some of
Who
these
was
real DeSantis.
Yeah,
He's fine. I mean, I don't
He
think
did
he's
poorly
fine for
the last,
Florida, but
Yeah.
remember he ran for
He-
president,
yeah.
he did poorly,
he
nobody
can
liked
do it
him.
in Florida. Newsom can do it in California. Other people can do it in other places, but
When you bring
you
the
need
whole
somebody
country.
with a bigger.
What about the guy
vision
from
of life
Chicago?
more-
Hmm?
What's
Yeah.
the millionaire out
Pritzker,
of
Pritzker.
Pittsburgh?
A
Pittsburgh.
bigger something. President.
Pritzker?
Pritzker.
Pritzker from Illinois, the governor of Illinois.
No, the one
Pritzker.
from Illinois.
Also, yeah, and I'll be the first to say, I
Oh.
think a Jew is a handicap too. That
The
I think that-
Illinois
As a woman is.
governor.
Yeah, yeah.
Pritzker?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
Here we are.
yeah, he's got, but he's a little.
Will he make it on
we
national
want
stage?
a younger
Yeah.
person. Of all the people we've talked about, the oldest one there is Warnock, and I
And
think
Kelly.
he has a. I think he's got a good chance.
I would love
I
to
think
see
they
him.
want somebody younger. I really
think
do.
it's
That's why we're talking
Donald
about
Trump.
Kelly and Cortez.
It's
and
time for baby boomers to let go.
time
Right.
For
for
us to
time.
let go, I agree.
He is great.
Ossoff would be, we'll see
Yeah.
how he does.
He would be good,
Also
but
Jewish.
between
Yeah, he's
him and
Jewish. That's
Warnock, I
that.
would
You
choose
don't
And,
hear
that were-
anything.
and I'm the first one to say,
What's
yeah.
the mayor of
the
Baltimore?
center, I told my guy.
Westmore.
Westmore.
He's
Yeah,
the
very
governor.
good.
Governor.
Yeah.
Governor of Baltimore. Governor of Maryland.
Now, him,
Maryland.
I'm
Yeah.
not familiar with.
I don't know if
He's
he's well.
great.
He's, by the way.
But he said that he's not running, he was already
Yeah.
asked.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's.
I
People
just-
like-
From there on
He was
up.
already asked, he said,
I think he would be a good candidate. The same with, there was was it a black governor of Massachusetts or mayor of Boston?
Boston.
Boston,
Mayor of
yeah,
Boston.
was also, but,
And he said no.
and, you know, Ossoff
I
and
don't think you
Pritzker,
can
and
go from a city
I think
to
we
the
need to do
country.
a WASP, but just to get rid of things, to win the office, we can't fool around.
Yes.
We gotta go with the safe bet, and it's a white WASP,
With
middle-class
a certain-
male.
A platinum?
and-
How about
But
everybody?
you know
Yeah,
what?
platinum.
Where is everybody with platinum?
Yeah.
I
that'll be-
don't dispute that, but That's saying,
Talarico is,
that
yeah.
really
Big,
says
yeah.
something bad about our country.
It does.
That
Oh.
we went, that we went from.
That's right.
You know,
You think?
look at how much of the world
Yeah.
embraced us. We elected President Obama.
We were the
I
shining
mean,
beacon.
literally
Yep.
every country said, you know what? You guys lived, y'all taught the talk and
And
walked
walked
the
the
walk.
walk.
Yeah.
And we went from that to this.
Yeah.
How many?
And now you're saying we got no chance, our party has no chance of going back to that unless we fall in.
We have to take care
I'm
of
not
many
saying,
problems.
I'm not saying that at all.
Oh,
But I
no,
say for
I
this
mean-
next election,
That's correct.
after that, we can,
Because
12
we're
black,
drowning in
12 black
corruption.
women in a row,
We're
it would
drowning
be
in
fine.
corruption.
We are
All
drowning
this
in
stuff has
corruption.
Yeah.
been, half of it, 75% of it has been done in the shadows, that so many people don't even know about it. And once they're out and it starts coming out, people are gonna be like, like Nixon's gonna look like,
No, but you know, are
Oh,
they?
he's already
Let's say-
been.
No, ask yourself
Yeah.
this. Those very same, that core group MAGA, they know this is corruption. They see, there's
they
no
want
way
it.
they
Do
can
they?
even argue. They're being asked to support a blatant lie and swear to it on allegiance to him,
Yeah.
and they're doing it.
Well, they're
So
not.
are
They're not.
they?
They're
are-
not swearing under. They're not. You know, I mean, maybe to him, but they're not. They're not testifying under oath, which is
Yeah.
huge.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
But you can't pin one of them down.
Neither is Pam Bondi.
Well, they're
That'll
Right.
not support that.
They're crashing and burning and grabbing everything they can. Like whoever can run out of the country is going to run out of the country. Like I think they know what's coming, and they're just grabbing as much as they possibly can before they take off.
But you know what? You can't convince your neighbor that you're not going to be on that plane with them. When the money goes, none of the MAGA that we see or we deal with daily, unless you live in Mar-a-Lago, they're not going to be in the
They
safe
aren't
zone when they go.
investing- If they
They're
aren't
done.
investing in gold bullion,
They're
they're going
done.
to be screwed.
They're going to be screwed.
Because
But you
the
can't
dollar
convince
is
them.
not going to,
Right.
it's not going to make it.
They're not going. You're not going to convince them that they're not the millionaire that's going to be in the seat next to them. And I don't understand why they can't or refuse to accept that fact. I'm sorry, I took-
Because they're not connected to reality.
Right.
They're not, and that's and they're not aware, and that's why I question. And the Viktor Orban is a good thing, and what you said as well, that the independent media, we and all the people we talk to read independent media. How about the average Flagler
Right.
County
No.
resident?
Correct.
No, and so that's why how did the independent media reach the people in Hungary? And
Right.
so that
It
they-
took time.
Yeah, it does take that. Yeah,
It was work.
So it's
Yeah.
the youth.
16
It was work.
years.
It was work.
We went from regular television to cable.
To pay cable.
So
yes.
then we went, and then, we did the streaming, and now the streaming is becoming, where every little freaking thing is being charged. People can't afford it.
No.
So they're gonna have to turn to the independent media. That's why YouTube is going so much more, because, I don't know about you, but I'm not gonna pay extra for that crap.
Did you know that now lobbying, because over the air was mandated by Congress, over the antenna and TV?
Yeah.
You know they're now lobbying to get rid of that because they're saying for companies to maintain the equipment to transmit a free over-the-air signal is not cost effective. Because everybody
gets cable.
is getting cable.
It's paying.
So why is the government telling us we have to provide free?
Because everybody
TV.
isn't getting cable.
Yeah.
Because they
What-
already
We
got,
need our NPR. We need all of that stuff.
Yeah.
but
Right.
they got
Our
rid of
public
NPR's
spaces.
gone or going, and
That remains to be
AM
seen.
radio is fighting like tooth and nail to stay
Keep
on the
fighting.
air.
Yeah.
PBS is not gone.
Yeah.
No.
No. But it's-
They've made enough money, as I know I contribute,
Yeah.
and they've made enough.
Yeah, they made a
money.
ton right after the
Right.
tax came, right?
Yeah,
A lot
well,
of people.
Did anybody
Will-
see,
will it
speaking of
sustain?
PBS, did anybody see this special on Katharine Graham?
Oh,
No, I had that on my
No,
list. Was
no,
it good?
No.
You should see it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's a woman,
yeah,
all men, all around.
Yeah.
There's a woman who led the show.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's,
there's no reason why we should fear a woman,
Yep.
a white woman, or a black woman, or any kind of woman.
and that's the, she's not a grandmother or mother of Bob Graham, but that was Governor Bob Graham, and now Bob Graham's daughter is running with Jolly. And is it Channel 6 is WKMG? That's Catherine M. Graham. That was her A station.
When
that
I
was
came
owned by her.
last time, I brought a book called We the Women
We the women.
by Nancy O'Donnell. And I finished it. I returned it to the library, so anybody else wants to
Susan,
go grab it.
Nora
it's
O'Donnell.
available.
Nora.
Nora. 1/3 of all active physicians in the U.S. in key specialties like pediatrics, 66%. Obstetrics and gynecology, 62%. Dermatology, 53%, are all now women doctors. And women are now the majority of medical school students, 54.6% as of 2024. Multiple studies show that having a female physician leads to better outcomes for patients. Research also reveals that hospitals that the patients are less likely to die or be readmitted when treated by a female surgeon.
And because they were concerned about laws limiting doctors, more doctors have become, and Bill Cassidy, who is an example of it, more medical people are running for Congress and running for political office to exercise control. At any rate, we've got a ton more to discuss.
I just wanted to say, at the end, I think the American people will pick somebody that is the opposite of Trump. So maybe discuss what is the opposite of Trump?
Truth?
Abraham Lincoln.
Educated, Warnock.
Empathy.
And Kamala Harris reappears in my mind.
And she does. I just,
And if she were to run again, she really is the opposite of him. Intelligent, as a woman.
Too much baggage from the Biden era. We need somebody totally.
Yeah, but a couple of
different.
years have gone by, I think.
How about AOC and Kamala as a
No, that'd
ticket?
never go.
Wouldn't that be great?
by the way,
What year is this?
So-
One?
I mean, it's sad.
Mark
I know.
Kelly and
should
AOC.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now Mark
like
Kelly
it.
and
Yeah.
AOC, there's a heavy
okay,
chick.
so if you recall, a few weeks ago, I came here with the question of, should we back Democrats who we love, or should we back Democrats who can win elections?
Depends on what's
And
going
so
on.
AOC is
Love 'em.
a good example. We love them, and Pritzker and others. We love them. Can they win an election?
We gotta go through
And
the
those
menu.
are-
If Mark Kelly's the head of the ticket and she's for the vice president, I think
We could-
that
we
would
could
be
do
a
it.
terrific ticket. And if he partners with her the way Obama partnered with Biden, okay, that is a strong team that could do a hell of a lot.
We hope.
Yeah, we can hope. I don't care if they do a hell of a lot. I care if they win the election.
So what do
That's
we think about Plattner, the last thing?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
By the way, he's an attack Democrat, and that's one of the reasons I backed him.
Well, what do we think? Do you think he should? He should run or should
Well,
pull out?
He is running for Senate. He
Yeah,
won,
he
he won the
won the
primary
primary.
against
Primary.
Janet
We were up there when
Mills.
he
Is
was
that
there.
her? Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Are we gonna support somebody
Right,
that has the baggage that he has,
right.
and we've been standing on a moral high ground,
Amen.
Yeah.
Yes.
but like you said, do we go for the
This is
W
litmus
Yeah.
test.
and just hold our nose? Or do we say, you know,
Susan Collins is no, come on.
Yeah.
She's just as crooked as the rest of them. She just comes
Uh-huh.
across as a nice old lady,
Yeah.
okay?
Has to go.
Aren't the Republicans fantastic at that, of
Yeah.
compartmentalizing
Yes.
corrupt people in their party going, well, you know.
so
they'll
from
look
what
the
I'm
other
hearing
way."
over there,
We gotta get in the
hold the
bag a little
nose
bit.
and go for the win.
Yeah, we gotta win. As
We have
a
to win, not the guy we
Yeah.
Pointed
Because-
out that a lot of the stuff is fake and they've proved it, and some of the stuff is from when he was really young.
Yeah.
You know, he's
Yeah.
not
I
an
don't
old
know
guy,
about
but
you
you know
all,
what
but
we
I
did when we
would,
were
I
20.
couldn't
But
run
you
for
know what?
office because what I was doing when I was a teenager.
okay.
We don't want all
You want to tell us
This
about
is a whole
There's
other
a book.
Yeah.
Next week we'll begin with Kathy Duffy's autobiography. Thank you all for being here. Everyone, stay tuned next week. Look for this on YouTube. Yes, Sue, welcome back. You hope your eye is good and everything is
I
good.
can see when I drive.
You've been driving without being able to see.
I'm not gonna cause an accident until the tumor